Hi, everybody. Joe Cioffi here with Weather in 5 days in 5 minutes. It's Wednesday, the 27th of December, and coming up tonight on the Joe and Joe Weather Show, here comes the rain again up the mid Atlantic and into the Northeast as a slow moving storm system to the west drags its feet and weakens and moves eastward. Probably mean the rain and the clouds certainly going to last into early Saturday, but maybe it gets better for New Year's. We'll talk all about that and the long range tonight on the Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast at 7:35 p.m. Eastern Time. We've got flood watches that have gone up now for most of New Jersey except the northeastern counties. We'll see what the local weather service offices do later this afternoon and evening when all the guidance is in. But Mount Holly has gone for a flood watch for just about all of its coverage area in eastern Pennsylvania, particularly southeastern Pennsylvania specifically, and all of New Jersey except the Northeast. We're coming into a full moon here, so we've got coastal flood issues possible on the south shore of Long Island as well as the shores of Westchester County and into southwestern Connecticut. When we look around the rest of the country, not really a whole lot happening from the standpoint of watches or warnings. We've got a few winter weather advisories up in parts of Nebraska, northwestern Kansas, left over from that upper low, and a couple of counties in southern Iowa, and that's really it. And some wind issues going on out in the west. Now, with respect to this system coming up the East Coast, it's a little bit disjointed in that the upper air support this time around is back here and you're running all this subtropical moisture ahead of it up the East Coast. So I think this says that rainfall amounts will probably fall on the high end of expectations. And given that lately that has been the case, certainly with the last two weather systems that we've had in the last couple of weeks, that we're going to wind up finishing higher than guidance. But we got a lot of moisture there that is getting involved to an extent with the extension of this system that is back out in Missouri now. The upper low is. There's a new surface low that's developing along the North Carolina coast that's going to carry this moisture northward. And you can see on the radar, it's loading up to the south in Virginia and eastern North Carolina. We also have heavy rains in western Pennsylvania, back up onto the Canada side near and around Toronto. Also, looking at some rain that has moved up into upstate New York and into parts of New Hampshire and Maine, and then extending down into southern New England and the Hudson Valley and Long Island and back through New Jersey. Although much of what's here at the moment as of 1 p.m. Eastern Time is on the light side. WPC's got a stripe of 1.5 to 2 inches from Delaware and easternmost Maryland northeastward to Long Island and southwestern New England and the Hudson Valley, and as well as all of New Jersey. So I guess the flood watches are justified. Not a whole lot of precip in between that and what's along the west coast from San Francisco northward into southwestern Oregon. Now, these are 7-day rainfall totals. What you're seeing here in the east is all from this one system. So it's one and done. In the west, we continue to get a series of systems that are coming into the coast, and this is the rainfall forecast there for the next 7 days. And only two areas of small interest regarding snow. One is in northern Maine, where we have a 50% or higher probability for at least two, and also in the mountains of West Virginia, and low probability for two extending into the mountains of western North Carolina, and also in parts of Missouri, west of the Mississippi River. We've got a small area there where there's a 50% or higher probability for at least 2 inches. So there's our low off the North Carolina coast. You can see the snow back in Missouri from the upper low that's to the west. The moisture from the south is going to energize tonight, as well as that rain that's in western Pennsylvania as it moves eastward. So it's from this we'll probably have some heavy rains for tonight into the very early part of tomorrow morning. It'll be more along the coast at that point with the low southeast of Delaware. Notice no cold air around. And then the low pulls away to the east. We will see, because this upper low to the west is lagging, that there'll be clouds and leftover areas of rain or showers around right into Friday night and even into early Saturday. It'll be on and off after this first round for tonight into tomorrow morning. Much of the country quiet. An arm of heavy rain coming into the west coast on Friday. Actually, I'll just back it up, and there's one there now. There's another arm that comes in Friday into Saturday. So then, as we approach New Year's, much of the country is going to be quiet. No major storms or even minor storms for New Year's Eve from coast to coast. It is going to be fairly dry, and I would think temperatures are going to trend down closer to seasonal levels in the eastern part of the United States, but not really cold. Might be cold up in the plains, but it's nothing to really to write home about. And then as we move into next week, looks like we might see a weather front come through sometime late Monday or Monday night. There's a low that's going to be running across the south that may bring some snow. Actually, that upper low could bring some snows to a very, very small area in parts of Tennessee and North Georgia, Western North Carolina on later Friday into Saturday. And then we've got another low that comes out of the Gulf that moves off the southeast coast for the early part of next week. And that goes out, I think, is going to move out straight to the east. So it's a fairly uneventful weather pattern once we get through this weather system that we're dealing with for tonight and for the next couple of days in the Northeast and Northern Mid-Atlantic states. Don't forget the Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast tonight at 7:35 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll see you then.